This is Umar from The Fight Wire, proudly sponsored by Gold Star Promotions. I didn't expect to be speaking to Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren on a Saturday. I think it might be the first time we've done an interview on a Saturday, Frank. So I do appreciate your time, taking some time out the weekend. Obviously, it's been a far from ideal 24 hours. Before we come on to that, obviously, you've got a big fight week next week with, well, I don't even want to call him a prospect anymore, in Hamza Sheeraz, in a real step up against Liam Williams. Talk to me about that.
Well, you know, he is past that stage now. He's 18-0. He's stopped 14 of his opponents. And this is a real test for him. This is another test for him. It's a big step up for him with Liam Williams. He's a former champion. He's obviously, he's had a couple of attempts at world titles and done well in a couple of the fights. And it's last chance saloon for Liam. So he's going to be bringing everything he's got to keep in the game. So there's a lot of pressure on Hamza, but, you know, I generally think he's one of the stars of the future, big stars of the future, and I'm looking forward to this fight. It's a cracking fight. It's a cracking card. Some good fights on there. Sam Noakes is in there with Lewis Sylvester. You know, both of them are undefeated, 25 fights between them undefeated. So that, again, is a cracking fight. We've got Masood Abdullah on there against Kay Ashik. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Kay Ashfaq, yeah, it's a good fight. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So that's a cracking little fight, you know, for the Commonwealth title. And then Anthony Yarde's back in action, which is quite relevant considering what's happening tonight with this fight between Buatsi and Azeez. So I think that's, you know, I depending who wins the fight, I'd like to see him in with, well, not depending, whoever wins the fight, I'd like to see him in with Anthony. I really would like to see that. And if it's Buatsi, you know, if it's Joshua, I hope he's not going to start trying to get out of it. Talking about, you know, he's waiting for the outcome of the fight on June the 1st, the unification, because whoever wins that fight on June the 1st, they're not going to be fighting again for another 3 or 4 months' time. So that'd be by the end of the year. So in the meantime, what's he going to do? Sit on his backside scratching if he comes through. So let's make the fight of him and Anthony if he comes through. Or you know, if the other guy wins, we'll make that. But that's the fight we want to see. That's a great domestic bust-up. So let's try and get that on after tonight's fight.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we can talk about Anthony Yarde next week. Obviously, he's in action. And as you said, there's a lot of relevance on what happens tonight. Will you be watching tonight? Buatsi, Azeez, Frank?
Yeah, of course I will. I'm quite interested in it. Yeah, I'm quite interested in the fight.
Okay. All right, let's come on to, well, not even the biggest news in boxing, but probably world sport at the moment, Frank. So when did you first find out that Tyson Fury had that cut and the fight would be postponed?
Yesterday morning. It happened in sparring. He's in Riyadh training. They're 3 hours in front, so it happened during sparring. He got caught with an elbow, and you know, you've seen the photographs and so forth of it all. And he's had, I think, it's 15 stitches in it. So it's too soon to say when the fight will be rescheduled, whatever. And that'll all come out in due course. What
was your initial reaction? Just gutted?
Oh, gutted. I'm gutted for everybody. I'm gutted for Tyson because he's been training. He's training like everybody's been training who's on the cards since before Christmas. He's been out there. He flew out there just after Christmas, being in camp there. And you know, a training camp costs a lot of money. And if you don't fight, you pay for that. That's a cost. So all those fighters, everybody on the card, they've all incurred big costs. And people who were buying tickets or were flying to see it, you know, it's just a great, great shame. And I suppose it's similar to what happened many, many years ago with the Rumble in the Jungle with George Foreman. You know, he got that bad cut, he got cut. And obviously the fight couldn't took place and they postponed it. But Tyson's got a much more serious cut than that. So it's sad and it is a shame. And we're all disappointed because we've all been looking forward to it. And the one who's been looking forward to it the most, I promise you, has been Tyson.
Frank, you just said there that he's had 15 stitches. Have you had anything else from like a doctor's report, anything else about the cut? No,
obviously it's out. It's you know, he's been stitched out there, and obviously we'll get. Yesterday's is a Friday, so you know, in you know, it's a Muslim country, so obviously Friday's their rest day, and but we'll get all that. I mean, you know, there's no debate about it. It's off. No one wants it. I mean, it's what 2 or 3 days after the most magnificent promo came out. The cost of that promo, all the hard work that went into that. you know, it's so, you know, and I feel for the Riyadh season as well. You know, it's part of their season. It's a big fight. It's the one that, you know, the one that His Excellency really worked hard to make happen and make sure that, you know, we could, between us, get it over the line. It's a, you know, it's a bloody catastrophe. It's a real shame, real shame for everybody.
Frank, I know you won't want to put a time frame on it, but obviously your experience, you've been around the sport for, apart from Bob Arum, longer than anyone in this present day. From your experience, just looking at that cut from a picture, how long do you think before he can actually spar Tyson?
Well, he might be sparring for a good 3 months at least. I mean, at least, and it's a significant fight, and it's a, you know, it's these you know, this is the fight of his career, whatever way you want to look at it. You know, I know lots of things have been said by fighters as you know, the going backwards and forwards, but for both fighters, this is their career-defining fight. So neither of them are going to fight unless they're 100%.
Frank, we saw His Excellency put out last night that the whole card is off. Obviously, there will be refunds for anyone who's bought tickets, etc. Was there sort of conversations last night between yourselves, Seller, Gold Star, all the parties involved to potentially keep the card?
I'm not going through that at the moment. You know, we're going to meet on Monday in our office and look at, you know, where we are. You know, look, it's very raw at the moment. Everybody is beyond disappointed. But look, that's the business we're in. That's boxing. That's what happens. It's not, you know, Tyson getting cut in training, in sparring is not this. It's not the first time it's happening. It won't be the last time, unfortunately.
Right, it's not the same cut as the cut he suffered against Otto Vollen, is it? It's different.
No, I think it's on the other side. You know.
Okay, it looked horrific though. To be fair,
it is. I mean, you've seen the same photos. I mean, everybody's seen the photo. I mean, you know, what more? You can't expect anybody to, you know, get into a ring with that. It's just not going to happen. And, you know, won't get passed anyway by any doctor. It's just not happening.
Can I just get your reaction to comments last night from Oleksandr Usyk's representatives? So there was one from Alex Krasiuk, his promoter. He said that potentially Tyson should consider retirement. He left that on his Instagram post. Thoughts?
It's just stupid, isn't it? I mean, you know, why would he consider? He got cut. You know, it's a funny thing. That fight was supposed to take place with a different promoter out in Riyadh, if you remember, not December gone, the December before that, and it was all done and agreed. And the one who pulled out the fight was Usyk. You said he wouldn't be ready, so that happens. You know, there's going to be a lot of stupid things said, but you know, if you got you know, an iota of intelligence, you'll see he's got a cut eye, and that's the end of it. What are you going to do? It's reality. Deal with the reality of it.
Just one more. Go on.
And what's it? The other bloke had something. What's his name? I can't remember it.
Aegis Klimas, his manager.
Yeah. What did he say?
Do you want me to get the exact? I can get it up.
Well, I'm not. You know, whatever he said anyway.
It was quite explicit. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
I can find it. 1 second. Okay. What did he say? Aegis Klimas. Fury will do anything not to face Usyk, and he asked his bitch to hit him with a frying pan in his brow. You can quote me word for word on that.
Missed with a frying pan. It must have hit Aegis on the back of the head, which caused him to talk complete bollocks. What a load of rubbish.
Okay, just moving on to sort of a reaction from the wider audience in boxing, not Usyk's representatives. I know you were on talkSPORT last night, Frank, and then there was a piece that went out with Adam Catterall and Jermaine Pennant where they questioned the whole validity of the postponement, Tyson's cut, etc.
Do you know, Adam Catterall, I can't even believe that talkSPORT use him to talk about boxing. He spouts the biggest pile of garbage ever. And it's slanderous what he said. You know, no timelines on the photos. On the photo, you know, how do we know it's real? That is slanderous. And he will be getting, and I'm telling you, from me, he will be getting a solicitor's letter on Monday, and he will be apologising for what he said and for what he's saying. It's a cut. He's got 15 stitches in his eye, and for that idiot to be coming out of what he comes out with is beyond a joke, you know. And I don't know what Jermaine Pennant, you know, had, but you know, as a sportsman, I don't think anybody should be following any of his advice.
Were you just surprised when they questioned that? Did you expect it from talkSPORT? What was your reaction?
I do expect it from. I didn't used to with Adam, and we've done a podcast together. It's just so disappointing and so stupid. You know, what does he think? People are spending millions upon millions promoting fights, hundreds of thousands of pounds bringing in sparring partners, the cost of the airfares and everything into training camps for what? And it's not a cut. Ask anybody who's out there. He's out there in Riyadh. Does he not think that, for example, His Excellency, Dr. Rakan, and all the people that haven't seen it? What a stupid remark to make. But that tells you where he's coming from. It tells you about his agenda, and that's it. And that's why, I don't know. He's going to have to apologise for that.
What is
I'll tell you, if he doesn't apologise for what he said, I will personally sue him, because it's Queensberry who put that statement out, who I'm involved with, and I will sue him.
What was it specifically he said in that piece, Frank?
He said, how do we know these photos are real? Did he not say something worse to that effect?
I'd have to go and watch the video back, but he questioned everything around it.
Questioned everything around. What he's saying is that we're lying. He doesn't have a cut. When was this photo? I think he said, when's the timeline on this? You know, he's a fucking moron. That's what he is.
Okay. We'll ask you as well.
Everybody is disappointed. The people, everyone, all the work, the hard work from everybody involved in this fight, from His Excellency's team all the way down out, Queensberry, Tyson, the boxers trainers, I said earlier on, the lawyers working on contracts, the hours that have been put into this. It's beyond stupid that anyone could even come out with some of these ridiculous remarks they make. I don't know where their intelligence is.
Right. Just throughout the week as well, of course, Frank, you would have seen rumours the last couple of weeks about, Jay Opposai leaving camp. He's actually denied anything about that. His promoter, Eddie Hearn, has come out and said that's complete garbage as well, that anyone got dropped, etc. What's that?
It's garbage. It's garbage. It's just total garbage.
Johnny Nelson was insisting that Tyson's having a bad camp.
Well, how would he know? Let me just die. How would Johnny Nelson know that? Well, explain to me. How would he know? What contacts he got within the camp? Zero.
To be fair, I'll be seeing him tonight at the Buatsi show. I can ask him.
When you see him there, tell him, say, why? Ask him straight. Say, who in the camp told you this? Who did? It's just nonsense. Moses Tuma, he's been out there sparring with him. Asked him. In fact, I spoke to Francis, who managed him, my son, today, and he was saying how well he looks. It's just stupid. Johnny Nelson, it's like, I don't know, it's like him, Carl Frock. They've got their agendas, haven't they? They've got their agendas, because, it's because it's not on the Sky Channel, or the fight was going to be on the Sky Channel, I should say, but the fact they're not Sky fighters and so forth, it's ridiculous. And John, God, come on. I wish, looking back on some of the fights he had in his career, I wish maybe it'd been better. Maybe he got injured in camp, and we had to suffer some of watching some of them.
Frank, you actually brought up the fact that it was on, in the UK, 3 major broadcast platforms. That was announced, 24 hours before the cut happened. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of negotiation to make that work and make it happen. That's what I'm saying. It's sad for everybody. So much work gone into it, but that is the nature of our sport. We're not a football team where someone gets injured and you can put a substitute in, plays in the team. It's a one-on-one sport. If it's a tennis player, the match would be cancelled. If it's a golfer, he wouldn't play, and so forth. And with a boxer, by the very nature of the sport, that in sparring you are throwing punches, and freak accidents can happen, as happened in this case. It's just a shame.
Just to close off, because it is a Saturday, I don't want to take too much of your time. This fight will happen this year between Fury and Usyk.
Yeah, well, you know, I hope it will, and I'm quite sure it will down the road. We just have to see when and where will be determined by the healing process.
Right, okay. Listen, Frank, appreciate your time. I'll speak to you on Sheeraz Williams Fight Week next week. And
I look forward to that.
enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much, Frank Moron.
Thank you, mate.